good to see you. Today we are back with a little bit more theoretical, hypothetical neighborhood gossip. I'll just say that right up front. It may be true. It may be totally made up. We'll never know. It's kind of funny though, because I was in a local paper here this week, and several people said, "Oh no, your hypothetical gossip videos are over now." That's really funny, but I can't tell you why. Anyway, I wasn't planning on doing another one so soon, but I tell you what, since everybody's been home, I know I said this last time, since everybody's been home, it has been so active around here. I actually made some notes on the back of this picture. See, I colored this earlier today. I've been watching Ozark on Netflix. Have you seen that show? God, it's so dark. It is so dark. That man, Mr. Snail, that owns like the whole county, I want to just go kick him in the throat. He is just so hateful. I don't like him. He stole my family's land, and that gives him a right to be a jerk to everybody. I don't know. I watched the show and I feel like I can't breathe. Like it kind of reminds me of Breaking Bad. Kind of has that same feel to it. You know, they're in trouble and lots of money is involved, and it's a good show. It's very engaging, and I'm enjoying it. I actually just a little while ago this evening I finished up the end of the first season. I don't know how many seasons there are. I think there are at least 3. But it's really good. It's a really good show, but it's just so dark. I mean, gosh, but yeah, everybody on that show, it's like watching Breaking Bad, where you go along and nothing's happening, and all of a sudden, you're like everybody's dead. It's just so crazy. Like I can remember several times when I first watched Breaking Bad where I would literally start nodding off, and then all of a sudden, there's all this activity, and like, Lord, there's gonna be a lot of funerals. But my gosh, but it's really good. So let me see, several things going on this week. What day was it? Was it Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday. No, it was Thursday. Thursday really, really tried my patience. Now, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, Tripp worked on the vroom vroom bike. He didn't do anything with the wing bike. The vroom vroom bike, he was out there Monday and Tuesday trying to get it started. It's like he cannot get this thing to run. It won't idle for more than 10 seconds and then it cuts off. He was out there for about 3 hours on Monday, about another 3 hours on Tuesday, 6 hours on Wednesday, and now Thursday, get this, 10 hours. He was out there cranking the bike up and it would knock off. Cranking the bike up, and this went on for 10 solid hours on Thursday, and it was like a slow rolling torture, because it was really loud, and even in the house with the windows and the doors shut, I could hear it every time. I bet I listened to him crank that bike 1,000 times on Thursday. It went on for 10 hours. He started right before 11 a.m. and he did not stop until about 9 o'clock Thursday night. And I tell you what, I tell you, it was really testing my patience. And I'm theoretically not even being funny. Like, I couldn't make any videos. That cabinet video I wanted to do, I had to wait until he finished. I had been waiting all day to make that video. I couldn't do it because you would have been able to clearly hear it in the video if I tried to do it over and over. He'd crank it up about every 2 minutes or so. Every 2 to 3 minutes, you'd hear him crank it up and whoom, whoom, whoom. And then it'd knock off, and then he'd start cussing. And 2 minutes later, you do it again. And 2 minutes later, you do it again. All day, 10 hours. It's like his job now, I guess. I don't know what he does for a living, but I guess he's not working right now. And he doesn't have anything else to do. Well, Thursday, I was actually just thinking, I will give anything for him to just not work on it Friday. Can I just have one day where I don't have to hear him try to start that bike? Just one day. Please, just one day. It's not a dirt bike, but it does kind of sound like a dirt bike. It's some kind of, I don't know what kind of motorcycle it is. It does not sound like a Harley. It does kind of sound like a dirt bike, but it's not a dirt bike. It's some weird, I don't know what it is. It's some odd, I don't know where he got it. But I theoretically may or may not have called and asked, can I make a noise complaint about the bike? I mean, he's bound to be driving everybody crazy on his street and mine. But one thing I've noticed about people around here, they won't ever call and complain about noise. They just don't. It's like they hate it, and they'll tell you later how much they hated it. But when you ask them if they did anything about it, they'll say, no, I didn't want to make a fuss. Like, well, I'll make a fuss. Like, maybe I'm a Karen and I didn't even know it, but when you're disturbing my peace in my own home that I pay for, I want it to stop. So theoretically, I may have called to ask, like, can I do anything? And apparently not. Apparently it has to be after 10 o'clock at night for them to intervene. But if it's during the day, there's nothing, you can't do anything about it. So, oh, I forgot to tell you about my shirt. I'm sorry. I'm sitting here in a McAwesome shirt, and I forgot to tell you why. I just saw myself. And these earrings, look at my earrings. I have to be careful not to catch them in my hair, but look how long they are. I would have loved a pair of earrings like this in the 80s. These long beaded earrings were so popular. I picked these earrings to go with my shirt because later tonight, after I finish this video, I may be doing a drive-through video. I thought it would be really funny to do a drive-through video kind of under the present circumstances, have it kind of centered around that. Like, I can only imagine what customers are like right now. Like, if you worked in a drive-through, what kind of crazy stuff would they say? So we're going to bring back McDowell's. This is not what you're thinking. It's not the golden arches, it's the golden arcs. And, if you've watched any of my videos, you know that I work really hard on my props and my background for my videos. So I got my piece of typing paper here all ready to make my McDowell sign. And I found one of my Sharpie markers. This is one of the big ones. And I'll even make it a colored picture with yellow for the golden arcs. I might even do McDowell's in red. I don't know. But I found this shirt at Goodwill and the hat at Goodwill, not at the same time, 2 separate times. The shirt's really big, actually. I could wear it as a dress. But when you're at Goodwill, you can't exactly get picky about sizes. You just take what they have. And of course, if you're working drive-through, you gotta have your little headset here, so you can fuss at the customers. And see, the great thing about this, now I may have worked for the Golden Arches for a little while, theoretically, when I was in high school. Now, I only lasted for 3 weeks, and I couldn't stand it, and I went back to my job at the grocery store. I made more money at the Golden Arches, but I couldn't stand it. I could not stand it. People are so terrible. And I went home every day smelling like the Golden Arches. Nothing against the Golden Arches. My kids love the Golden Arches. But to this day, I cannot walk in one with, and they all smell the same. And you walk in, it's like, oh my God. I cannot stand the way it smells in there. It just smells like sad grease or something. They've spiffied up the joints a lot. I tell you, they didn't look anything like that when I worked there. But I worked there for $4.50 an hour. Yeah, $4.50 an hour when I was in high school. Now, at the time, minimum wage was $4.20. No, I'm sorry. $3.20. I think I made $3.20 an hour at the grocery store. Or $3.25, whatever the minimum was. I think the minimum wage was $3.25. No, I wasn't making $4.50. I was making $3.50. Anyway, it was like 25 cents more than I made at the grocery store, which was a big deal to me. I mean, that was like big money to me. I was 16. And, but I still remember, I did not ever work drive-through, but I worked the front counter. I didn't make the food. I just took the orders, and fixed the drinks and stuff. And people could be so mean. People were so hateful. They would come in, and I hated our uniforms at the time. The uniforms we had to wear were these really stiff polyester button-down shirts, and they had these weird collars, and they were really ugly. And these pants that were cut in such a way that they would not look good on anyone. They were really high-waisted, and they made everybody look terrible. And the color was bad, and it was just the ugliest uniform you ever saw. And people would actually make fun of the uniform. It was awful. It's like, I can't help it. It would laugh at you. So I only lasted 3 weeks, and then I went back to the grocery store, and it was much better. I was so glad to be back. I didn't care. I was making less money, but I hated working at the Golden Arches. Oh my gosh. I have so much respect for people who do it, because I couldn't hack it. I couldn't do it. People were so terrible. But I thought it would be fun, under the conditions of the galloping consumption that we're dealing with, to make a video, because if you go to the Golden Arches or any place like that, you can only do drive-through. You can't go inside, or at least here that's the way it is. You can't go inside. In certain restaurants, if they don't have a drive-through, you can go inside only to order. And even then, I think they can only have a certain number of people in there at a time, and you have to wait outside and then come in and order. It's a whole thing. But so I came up with this character today, and I think her name is going to be Cheyenne, with an S and an A and a dash. And I've been working on a way that she might talk I think I'll have some fun with that. That has nothing to do with the gossip at all. I just thought I'd tell you about it. So I'm gonna have hat hair. I was out mowing earlier, theoretically, and I had to come in and take a shower and wash my hair, so it's all weird now. But I was telling you about Tripp and his bike. I give him credit for his dedication to trying to get this piece of garbage to run, but I'm starting to think that it's never going to run. It's just never going to happen. Maybe he could take it to somebody who knows how to fix it. It may be something really simple and he's just not doing it right. I honestly don't know, but it sounds like he's tried everything he knows to try, and this thing just will not run. He has spent hours and hours, literally hours and hours, hypothetically, trying to get this thing to run. And I'm almost starting to feel sorry for him, but then I hear him crank it up all over again, and then I'm just thoroughly enraged, and then I don't feel sorry for him. I just want to like drop kick him to the moon or something. So anyway, Friday morning I went outside. I was looking at the bird feeders, and I happened to notice that the whole world smelled like coffee, which is weird. Now, I've gotten used to the smell of outdoor grills, the barbecue grills, because a lot of people have been cooking out in the evenings more than normal. I mean, you smell it every night. It drives me crazy. I'll just step outside and you can just smell like people are grilling steaks and burgers, and it smells so good. Oh my gosh. But Friday morning, I stepped outside and it had a strong smell of coffee. I thought, what? Why does it smell like coffee out here? And I'm looking around like, is somebody really close by, like on their deck drinking coffee? Is old Joe and Itchy and Scratchy, they weren't outside? Nobody was outside. It was quiet. And I thought, what in the world is that? Well, I decided not too long after that to go take a walk. Hang on a minute. I've made so many notes. I feel like I've forgotten. Oh, yeah, I'll tell you about that. So I noticed the coffee smell, and then it kind of subsided when I went out a little bit later to take a walk, which you're still allowed to do here, by yourself or people in your home. And I went out for a walk, and I went up their street. Tripp, I don't know how to describe this. Tripp had set up an adult version of a lemonade stand at the end of the driveway. Not in the road, but at the end of the driveway. Like, how kids will do a lemonade stand? I always wanted to do one when I was a kid, but we lived in the middle of nowhere, and I don't know who would have ever come by. I was so jealous of kids that lived in town. My accent is very affected tonight because this Cheyenne has messed me up. I've been thinking about, you want to know how you write her name? I'm going to show you this. This is a preview. I like it. There, there. Shy-Ann. Cheyenne. She has a boyfriend named Shane. He has a, what was it he had? I had this, he has an El Camino, and he's not scared to stomp your tail. He is not intimidated by khaki pants. It'll make sense later. He had a lemonade stand set up out there, but it wasn't lemonade. He wasn't selling lemonade. Theoretically, he had out there coffee and Costco donuts. You know, those big clamshell plastic cases of donuts and stuff? He had donuts and coffee out there. And I thought, you dummy, who is going to buy that? Who even comes down your street except people who live here? And I guess I didn't say anything to him. I just kept walking. He kept trying to catch my eye. I'm like, I don't even want to talk. But I read the sign. He had a big piece of poster board. He was out there with his table, and he was sitting in one of those folding camping chairs. And the sign said, "Buy coffee and donuts for motorcycle rehab." He had it in quotes, motorcycle rehab, in colorful letters. I guess he made it himself. He had it stuck on the table with duct tape. And the phrase motorcycle rehab just stuck in my mind for the rest of my walk. I kept going on up the street. And I walked for quite a while. And I thought, now is the rehab for the motorcycle, or is it rehab for him so he can wean himself off of the motorcycles? I'm thinking maybe he's trying to raise money to get it worked on by somebody who knows what they're doing. I don't know. A lot of times his working on it just involves him beating on it with a wrench and cussing at it. That motorcycle's got to be depressed by now. No wonder it won't run. But it was for motorcycle rehab, and I thought, you went out and bought that stuff, the coffee and the donuts, and nobody is coming by here. I mean, the streets are so quiet. Every now and then you'll see a car going, but it's so quiet because most people are staying home. They're either working from home, or they're not working right now. Wherever they work, they're not working right now. So I thought, you're not going to get much traffic coming through here. Maybe people walking, but people walking may not have any money with them. I mean, it's not a good idea to walk around with, money on you. Why would you do it anyway if you were just out for a walk? Well, by the time I came back by, he was taking it all down. He was folding the table up. The coffee was gone. The donuts were gone. The sign was torn up, laying in the street. And he was mumbling and cussing, kind of under his breath. And again, I'm walking like, I don't want to look at him because he's really mad, and I don't want him yelling at me. And I don't know if he was mad because it didn't work, or maybe somebody called and reported him. I don't know if you would get in trouble for that. I know in some cities, kids can't have a lemonade stand. They have to have like a permit from the city, and it's just crazy. Like, really? It's a lemonade stand? Come on now. I don't know what happened, but he got mad. So I guess his little venture didn't work. I'm thinking, dude, you already have a Tesla. You have the wing bike. Maybe you should just forget about the vroom vroom bike and be happy with what you have. But during these times, I guess we all need something to hold on to. We all need something to do. Something, have a reason to get up in the morning. Something, because after a while, all the days kind of blend together. I know they have for me. I'm actually glad I still work every day. I have a day job. And one of my coworkers is out. I think is still out and will be out this coming week as well. Normally I only work 3 days a week, but now I'm working Monday through Friday every day. So not like full time, but I have to log in and do stuff every day. But it's good though, because it gives me a reason to get up, and it keeps me motivated. Okay, so that was the deal with Tripp. Tripp had a little run-in with my neighbors behind me. Now, Tripp is one street over. And the the roads around here are weird. They kind of bend around and do this here, you know. Well, I have neighbors that butt up to my back fence. The back of their house faces the back of my house like that. And they haven't been living there long. They have taken it upon themselves to redo the backyard. I guess they're taking advantage of this time to fix things. That's fine. I mean, that's wonderful, and I think that's great. They're planting a garden back there. They have lots of like 5-gallon buckets with plants in them. I don't know what they're doing. I think they're starting a vegetable garden back there, that's great. But this started Thursday evening. They brought the bags out. Now they had a truck. They backed it up as close as they could to the fence, and they started unloading these giant yellow bags. And I knew, as soon as I saw those bags, I knew what was in them. I said, "Oh dear God, no. Oh no." And my older son was standing in the kitchen. He said, What? I said, "Look, do you see those yellow bags? You see how many there are?" They had, I bet, 30 of these big bags. And he said, "Yeah, I see them. What about them?" I said, "Do you know what's in those bags?" He said, "What?" I said, "That's cow manure. That is poop. That's bags of cow manure." He said, "How do you know that?" I said, "I know because my mother wanted manure for Mother's Day." And he busted out laughing. He said, "What are you talking about? Why would she want manure for Mother's Day?" I said, "Because she was working on her rose garden and some other stuff she had planted, and she said she needed some for fertilizer, and it was the only thing she could think of to tell me that she wanted for Mother's Day." This was last year. Because I asked her, I said, "What do you want for Mother's Day? Do you want some flowers? What do you want?" She said, "Well, the only thing I can think of is some bags of manure." I said, "I can't give you manure for Mother's Day. That's a crappy present, no pun intended. I can't do that." She said, "Well, it's what I really want. You asked me what I really wanted. If you would have given me what I really want, I want manure. I want at least 5 bags. And I would like you to bring them to me and help me put it out." I'm like, ooh. Can I take you out to eat? Is there anything else? She said, "Nope, I want manure for my flowers and the stuff I planted out there." Dang it. So I recognized the bags right away because we got them at Lowe's, and they have a big cow on the front, and it's funny too because the cow has this guilty look on its face like, "I am so sorry. I really am." Like, yeah, you should be. Every time I had to cut one of those bags open, I'd look at that cow face and just like, yeah. That's awesome. So that's what I spent Mother's Day doing last year, was going and buying and spreading manure. It's great. But I recognized those yellow bags, and I said, "That is a cow manure, and it stinks." Now, it's not as bad as chicken manure or hogs. If you've ever been by a hog farm or a chicken houses, we got chicken houses everywhere here. Oh my Lord! In the summertime when they clean them out, my goodness. Well, they started putting it out. It started after they got all the bags stacked up. I said, "This is going to be bad." They started putting it out, and the smell. And the thing that really grossed me out was they were handling it with their bare hands. These people were just pulling it out. The people that live there, they were pulling it out with their bare hands, and I couldn't. No. Put some gloves on, for heaven's sake. And there's been, I don't know about where you are, but around here, there's been a lot of controversy about Lowe's being open. And it's funny because I don't hear it about Home Depot. We have Home Depot and Lowe's, the home improvement stores. There are other stores like Ace Hardware or whatever, but Lowe's and Home Depot are the two great big ones. And there's been a lot of controversy. A lot of people think they should not be allowed to stay open during all this. Because people say, well, it's not essential. And other people say, well, in a way it kind of is. I mean, people still need to, they may need to do work on their house. Maybe they want to plant a garden. Maybe they need some stuff to do that with. Like if they want to grow some food or something, who's to say? And it's controversial. I didn't really have an opinion on it one way or the other. I'm not going to die on every hill I come to like some people. theoretically. But after the manure and the fact that I could not go outside without wanting to gag, kind of changed my mind on the whole Lowe's controversy. I'm like, you know what? Maybe they don't need to be open. Can we just shut them down? It's too late for me, but maybe somebody else will be spared. I'm kidding. Tripp did complain. Because he was still out there messing with he got the vroom vroom bike out after he put up his little coffee and donut stand. He was out there working on it, and I heard him go over there and use some choice words about the smell, and they didn't have much to say other than, go away, leave us alone. And they said back, I couldn't hear the whole thing. I was just straining to hear every word. I wasn't eavesdropping at all. Of course, I would never do that. And they said, well, if we have to, they said, I heard noise pollution. And I think they were talking about the bike. If we have to listen to you do that for hours on end, we can spread some cow manure. And I'm sitting over there thinking, well, what can I do to bother everybody? Maybe this would be the time to take up the saxophone or the bagpipes. Like just sit out in the backyard and sound like I'm killing a baby seal for several hours a day. And yeah, I could practice the bagpipes, maybe the violin. Maybe the violin could be good. If everybody else can be obnoxious, maybe I can too. Now, I did want to say, theoretically, Joe and Itchy and Scratchy over here have that rooster. I didn't hear it for a day or two. And I started to wonder if somebody had maybe reported them or something happened to it. But yesterday, they had it. Now, I don't know where it's been. Maybe it's been somewhere else. I haven't heard it. And normally you can hear it. And the thought of that cop helping to get rid of that rooster, you can forget it. Because she was out there with them. And they had, I don't know where they got it. I don't know what it was. It almost looked like something you'd put on a lizard or something. But they had this rhinestone studded leash. And they had put some kind of a collar on it. Now, I don't know how you keep a collar on there. Maybe it had a harness or something. I don't know. But they had put a collar on the rooster, and they were teaching it to walk on a leash. Now, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't see what the point is. Why does it need to be able to walk on a leash? I don't know, but it was clucking away. I mean, it was making noises. It didn't crow any. I mean, it seemed happy enough. It didn't seem like it was in distress or anything. But I'm thinking if anybody ever reports them, I think they got a friend that will back up their story that there is no rooster. I didn't get a picture. There was no way I could. It's just, theoretically from my window, it was never anywhere where I could get a decent picture of it because there's a fence in the way, and they've got the coop thing that they're trying to build out there. I guess it's for the rooster. I'm not really sure. I think it's like a little chicken coop, but it's really shoddy. It's really wonky. It doesn't look very good. And I'll tell you about the hole in a minute. I want to tell you how much I miss going into stores and making videos. I never thought I would miss it so much, but last night I had this long, detailed dream where I got to go into my favorite Dollar Tree. And there's one in the area that's my favorite. And I dreamed that they let me go in there before they opened one morning. And I had an hour. And I could make any video I wanted. And it would be totally quiet. No one would bother me. I was in heaven. It was the most beautiful dream. And it is so sad that I enjoyed it. It was so vivid. It was like it was real. And I walked over to the OTC section where all the little bottles of medication are. And it was a complete wreck. It was full of stuff, but it was a mess. And I got to spend a whole hour making a video, organizing it. It looked so good when I got done. The video was an hour long, and it looked so good. And then I woke up and realized it didn't actually happen. But it almost prompted me, like, why don't you talk to somebody over there? But I know they'd never go for it. Like, they would never allow me to do that. It sure would be nice, though. I'm really looking forward to being able to get out and do that again. I've missed it a lot. I really have. The most exciting thing I did today was mow the yard. That was about it. Okay, the only other thing, has anything else happened? No. Let me look at my notes. No, that's about it. The dudes in trucks have disappeared again. Now, I've gotten to where I kind of just drive by there. Not every day, but like every other day. I'll just go for a ride and I'll go by there. They're gone. They're not there. And the thing is now, do you remember I told you there were pallets? And then there were landscaping timbers. And then there were about 15 pallets of bricks. It's all gone. It's gone. I'm starting to think, theoretically, that they're putting this stuff down in the hole for some reason. Why in the world would they have all that stuff delivered there to just take it away? They're not building anything with it that I have been able to see. Now, several people have said, you need to just go look in that hole. There's no way. I am so wigged out by it. You could not pay me to go over there. I wouldn't fly a drone over it. I wouldn't try to walk over there. No, I have a really, really weird feeling about it. But now, at one point it had tape around it, and at one point it had those stacks of pallets around it. There's nothing around it right now. Nothing. Not even any tape, caution tape or anything. Now, it's not close to the road. It's not out in an area where anybody'd fall into it or anything, but it's not taped off. The only thing out there, theoretically, at this point, is one adjustable patio umbrella. The most random thing. You know, the one with the arm, and you can, like it has the weighted base and you can pivot it and swivel it. Yeah, it's a patio umbrella with little flowers on it. It has little like pink flowers on the top of the umbrella. That's it. There's nothing else out there. No, the dudes in trucks are gone. No, they've been gone. Now I'll be curious to see if they come back. They always come back. Even when I think they're gone for good. Because they were gone for a couple of weeks. But then they came back. They always come back. So I'm kind of curious to see what they bring next. I think whatever they're doing is going on down in that hole. Well, what would you need 15 pallets of bricks for? A whole flatbed trailer of landscaping timbers and tons of pallets. What could they be doing? Because I never see them actually do anything. And the last thing they did, they were standing around watching the guys with the forklifts moving the pallets of bricks around like they were playing checkers or something. They weren't doing anything with the bricks. They were just moving the pallets of bricks around. They don't really, usually there are 20 to 30 guys out there, 20 to 30 dudes, and literally 20 to 30 trucks parked all up and down the street. They can't carpool. Apparently carpooling is not something that they care to do. I don't know. Maybe they all live far apart. I don't know, but they all drive their own truck. They don't do anything with the trucks. You don't see dudes in cars. You don't see dudes in minivans. Every dude has his own truck. So maybe it's a prerequisite. You can't go stand around and stare at the hole unless you have a giant truck and a tool belt and a hard hat. That's all I know. They're with the pipeline. That's what they said. Well, they don't even want to talk to me anymore now. They just ignore me. But now they're not even out there, so I can't even ask them anything else. So how do you go from having pallets to landscaping timbers to lots and lots of bricks to nothing but one patio umbrella? It's not stuck in the ground. It just has that weighted base. It is just sitting off, on the edge of the hole. I don't know. People have said theoretically, you ought to call the city and find out what that's about. Well, hypothetically, I may have done that. And I might or might not have been told that no one with the city knows what I'm talking about. They don't know anything, or that's what they said. Maybe. They don't know anything about it. Even if I were to give them the exact location of this hole and to describe how long I believe it's been there and the stuff I've seen going on, it could be that they still say, ma'am, I'm sorry, I have no record of any activity in that area. We don't have anything going on there to the best of my knowledge. I can tell you, though, theoretically, that is privately owned land. I do know that, maybe. So whatever's going on there, it's going on somebody's private property. Maybe they're building some kind of bunker. Maybe it's like an underground bunker or something. That just occurred to me. Maybe that's what it is. But maybe they just don't want me to know, and their cover story is they're working with the pipeline. Could be. I never thought about that until just now, but maybe that's what it is. And they're using the landscaping timbers and the brick to reinforce the walls inside or something. I don't know, but it seems like they would need more than that. And they don't work on it all the time. They'll be gone for a week or two. And then they come back. I don't know. Whatever it is, it involves lots of dudes and trucks. And they don't do much. I wonder if the owner knows how much time they spend just standing around staring at the hole. You never see them going in or out of the hole. That's another thing. They all just stand around the hole, looking in it, drinking coffee, and talking about who knows what. I'd be mad if I were paying for a bunker and all these dudes come and all they do is stand around drinking coffee and using my outhouses. I'd be ticked off. Like, you need to do more than that. I'm not paying you to process cups of coffee. But I don't know. That's weird. I expected to see some sort of creation with the brick. I thought, surely by now they've started to build something with it. I mean, why would they have all those bricks out there? No, the bricks are all gone. The bricks are gone. The pallets they were on are gone. The forklifts are gone. The dudes are gone. The trucks are gone. And all that's left is one flowery patio umbrella that has never been out there before. It's never been there. Who left that there? I'm starting to think they're just messing with me. Like, I don't know. I'm curious now. I don't know. Monday is Easter Monday. Now, I don't know if they're working next week or not. I guess we'll find out. But, yeah, very interesting to see that all the bricks were gone. That was weird, hypothetically. I've developed a bit of a fear and a certain level of respect for this location. Like, I don't want to know. It's like some kind of X-Files thing, and I'm just not going to get involved in it. So we're just going to have to wonder and see what happens with it next. But that is it. I don't know of anything else right now. It's been, for the most part, it's been okay. I would really appreciate it if Tripp would stop messing with the bike, though. Getting a little tired of the bike. It's starting to wear on my nerves a little bit. But anyway, that is everything. I really hope you're doing okay. I hope all is well with you. And I will see what I can do with Cheyenne in a little bit. And I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend, what's left of it. And I will see you again really soon.